Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the show. This is kind of a little experiment I thought would be kind of fun to do, and hopefully it'll be entertaining for our viewing audience. Uh, Hi everybody, I'm Shiny Happy Jenn, and today I thought it'd be kind of fun if with everyone some of the items that I have in my personal archive of print media through the entire history of the Chuck E. Cheese's concept, starting with Pizza Time Theater all the way up to right before the current era, which is started in 2013, I think it was, with Rockstar Chucky. We're not gonna show any of that stuff today, so just pretend that doesn't exist. We're only going to be showing interesting, cool, kind of unusual stuff. This is just a small sampling of some of the items that I have in my personal archive. So, I even broke out the special vintage tablecloth for today. And I'm also, as I share some of these items with you, I thought it'd be kind of fun if I played one of the original show reels from 1983. So I picked out a selection here. Here's the original box. This is a actual show reel that was used at a Pizza Time Theater in 1983. This particular show is Bandstand 2. I want to show everybody that really cool product quality seal that Pizza Time Theater used to stick on their show tape boxes to make sure you were getting the real deal. You weren't getting a bootlegged copy. But yes, so when you needed to operate your balcony show Cyberamics, this is what powered the show. A reel-to-reel player with a reel-to-reel tape. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this on, and we will have some ambient music playing in the background while I share all of these goodies with everyone. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward. Oh, actually, I need to rewind a teeny bit. And we'll go ahead and just let it run while I go ahead and share some of the goodies that are here on the table. So I might as well go ahead and start with this one right here, since I got this one right here in front of me. Now, all of this stuff isn't really necessarily in chronological order. It's kind of roughly in chronological order, but these are items that I've had for a very long time, and most of them are contained in these binders. So sampling, but let's go ahead and start the fun. So here in this particular binder, I have a bunch of loose stuff that I haven't found a home for yet, but this is something of particular interest for Pizza Time Theater fans. Here, let me turn this around so it's a little easier to see here. This is a newspaper clipping that is promoting Cheesy Street, which was a very rare installation at some Pizza Time theaters back in the day in 1983. There was actually a themed bunch of themed storefronts that took up one whole wall inside a Pizza Time theater, and it contained the famous Cheese Factory, which was a mini kids playhouse that they could actually go in and go down slides, and there was all kinds of fun things inside. This particular ad is advertising a Easter Seals promotion, and I believe that this is on showbizpizza.com, which is a great website that has all kinds of archival material. If anyone out there is not familiar with showbizpizza.com, I highly recommend you go out and check it out. But there's a nice Cheesy Street newspaper clipping. So let me slip that back in here. All right. So right here on the front page, we have a Pizza Time Theater program from the, this is actually a reproduction. This is not an original. This is a reproduction of the original Pizza Time Theater menu program that they gave out at the very first Pizza Time Theater in 1977. And this recreation is actually just the pages, because I wanted to have the pages to display it flat. But as you can see, I have not done that yet after all these years. I just kind of put it all in one page. But it's got some great vintage artwork. Some of the fans out there have probably seen this already. This is kind of out there, but talks about the show schedule at the original Pizza Time Theater in 1977, the times that they would run the different shows. And then, of course, the menu. This is also on showbizpizza.com, so if you'd like to go and get a closer look at this text and actually read it, definitely check it out. because they have a beautifully scanned copy of this on the website. This is the back cover, which mentions the address of the very first Pizza Time Theater down here at the bottom. And I'm sure some of the diehard fans watching have seen this already. But for those that have not, that is what it looks like. That was the very first menu program. And what we have here on the other side, oh, this was the inside. This was the menu that was the center page. And again, to get a really good look at the text, I highly recommend checking out showbizpizza.com. If you go into their archive section, you will be able to see all kinds of marvelous print media objects that have been professionally, digitally scanned. And you can go ahead and read that. So let's move on to some more fun stuff. Again, this is not in chronological order. I'm just kind of going through the pages. Whatever's in there, I'll show you guys. Just I thought it'd be kind of fun. This is a collection of business cards starting from the merger era all the way up to about 2002. But there's all kinds of, like, just, you know, kind of fun to see the different designs they used. These over here are what we call Chucky Passes. We used to actually use these in the stores if there was some kind of a guest issue or a guest experience issue, and we wanted to kind of like end it on a more positive note. We would slip them one of these guest passes, which would entitle them to usually free pizza, drinks, and tokens in the future. And this one over here, I'm actually, maybe I'll slip this out here. This one is actually signed by Dick Frank, who used to be a top dog at CEC Entertainment. He's long at CEC Entertainment. He's long gone now, but this is actually kind of cool. This is an original. It's like a little, it's got both logos on there. And when you open it up, it's a guest card that entitles people to free goodies, but it's actually signed by Dick Frank. I just thought that was kind of cool. I know, wasn't Dick Frank the guy who said that we don't need animatronics in restaurants? Oh, well, yeah, we won't get into that. Well, anyways, let's flip this over. Hey, we got some more cool merger era stuff from 1985, 1986. We have a Good Patient Award. Promotional certificate that was given out to try to encourage kids to come down to their local Chuck E. Cheese's and have some fun. This is a custom-made coupon. This was used at the Danvers, Mass. Chuck E. Cheese's back in the mid-1980s. And again, it was kind of something that you would give out to people to try to encourage them to come back to your store. And then down here at the bottom, we have a old, here, maybe I can, is there anything on the other side of this one? Oh yeah, there is. So let me go ahead and take this out so you guys can get a better look at this one. This is a old style birthday party invitation that you were meant to, it was like a mini postcard that you were supposed to send in the mail to your friends to tell them that, hey, you get to come to Chucky's place and have some fun. This is from the merger period. This is from 1987, 1988. So I'll go ahead and slip that back in here. There we go. All right, let's move on to our next page here. We got some more cool, this is a promotional flyer that was used at the Danvers, Mass. Chuck E. Cheese's back in 1985, 1986, merger period. And this is, actually, I have the original, but for this particular book, I made a color print of it so I could show both sides of it at the same time inside of the binder here. So the original is actually one piece, which I have somewhere else. But on the flip side would have these coupons. This was something that you would either give out to people at the store for promotional reasons to try to, again, encourage them to come back and have some fun at the store. It's got some cool artwork. And then on the other side here, we have something that not too many people probably have. I'll actually show both of these. These are original napkins. Yes, kids, you know that you're a Pizza Time Theater Chuck E. Cheese's collector freak when, as a kid, you actually saved the printed napkins from the store. So, yes, I have saved these. I got these when I was like 10 or 11 years old. These are original table napkins that used to be in the napkin holders that were on the tables at Pizza Time Theater. They were two variants. There was the yellow and brown, of course, to go with all the brown and orange interior that Pizza Time Theater used to have. And then a little bit later on, they did the white and the red variant. But yes, I'm a freak. I admit it. Yeah. And then over here we have some really cool 1980 birthday party napkins. These are about the size of a cocktail napkin. And these are the napkins they would put on the table at the time in 1980, 81, and 82. When you would book a birthday party, they would use these on the table. And all of the, you'll see some of this a little later on, all of the party gear, the hats, the plates, the tablecloths, all had the same logo. It was a really cool logo. Down here is a merger era napkin. This is from 1986 or 7. And same kind of thing, kind of a cocktail style napkin. All right, so we got some napkins. Oh, and then we see, like I said, this isn't in chronological order. Now we've got some Avenger era stuff that's on the flip side here. Promotional flyer. We've got a coupon. I think this is actually the coupon that came in the Chucky E. Cheese pizza oven, which was a toy that you could buy and cook little mini pizzas in. I think this is the special coupon that came inside of that box. I have that in the other room, but we're only doing paper media today, kids. We're not going to get into any of the other stuff. Maybe, in the future, I'll do some videos featuring those. And then we have a card. This is actually a very special card. Let me pull this out here. Some of the former cast members out there might remember this card here. This is a card during the Super Chuck era in, I think, 2007. If a cast member did an outstanding job, someone, a guest or a manager, could give you this special card. And it was a really big deal at the time that if you did an awesome job and you got this card, you were really up there. You were a superstar. So this is one of those. Put that back in there. Man, you gotta love the sound of that analog technology. Now let's see, more paper goods. Oh, check this out. It's a 1981 Pizza Time Theater coloring book. And, ooh, you could send this in the mail for promotional purposes, too. Check it out. But most people got this at the Jasper's General Store, which was the name of the prize counter at Pizza Time Theater. So let's take a peek inside. Ooh, we've got like a shiny gold cover. And we've got all of the clip art that they used for all their marketing and merchandise back in 1981. We've got Chuck and, somebody's tried to color in Jasper here. All that great vintage artwork. And then we start getting into some of the more generic stuff. There's the Beagles. And that's what's kind of funny about this coloring book is, besides the Chucky specific artwork, the rest of it is just kind of some generic promotional stuff done by the company that put these together. I mean, look at this. You got this cheesy generic picture, and then they just kind of slap some clip art on here. But yeah, let's see. What was the company that... So I guess Impco was the name of the company that produced this. They got their logo down here. So the other stuff that's in here is just their generic stuff that they did for all their promotional. But this was kind of cool. Has the kid holding the Pizza Time Theater pennant. That was actually a real merchandise item. I have a couple of those upstairs. And then we got one playing skee ball. Oh, hey, we got some great vintage arcade artwork there. Or I should say a recreation. And then, of course, our favorite chef. What else is in here? Oh, hey, yeah, we're riding the airplane ride at Pizza Time Theater.
Remember, folks, you heard it ain't short on Chucky.
And then kind of some more generic stuff. Yeah, it's interesting how they have the official Pizza Time Theater artwork in here, and then there's just a bunch of generic stuff that the kind of company who made this coloring book just kind of put in here. This is another one that's kind of neat. Generic, but not, specifically drawn for Pizza Time Theater. We got a kid here trying to be a classic rat. Yeah, and here's some more examples. They kind of they just kind of incorporated the clip art into there. And, oh, yeah, everybody remembers the Chucky go-round. That's right, kids. Sit on a giant pizza-eating rat and go around in a circle. And speaking of giant pizza-eating rats, check it out. Yeah, and there we go. So that is the 1981 Chuck E. Cheese's Pizza Time Theater coloring book. Yep, that's a gem. And I was talking earlier about that great logo they used to use in the 1980 birthday party stuff. Well, check it out. Here's an original party hat from 1980. I used to go to the Brandon, Florida Chuck E. Cheese's as a little, well, I wouldn't say I was a little kid. I was like 10 years old. And when the birthday parties were over, I used to run around the tables and steal all the hats because, I mean, they were just going to throw them out anyway. So I have a bunch of these. But this one I did flat to just have it in here in the paper media archive. Here's some more merger era flyers. These are flyers that would be given out at the store. All of these actually came out of the Danvers, Mass. Chuck E. Cheese's. They would print these up and hand these out. Wave your flag, America. Redeem this coupon for 5 game tokens with a food purchase on certain days. And of course, all the kind of patriotic themed holidays. So you could bring this in and get 40 game tokens. These were like, at the time, Danvers was a franchise, so they could pretty much do whatever they wanted, and they would come up with their own little ideas for promotions. And then here we have a sticker, a vintage sticker that they used to slap over the coin mechs on games at Pizza Time Theater in case, you know, they needed some attention. They weren't working. They would kind of just stick the sticker on there. And then on the back here, we have another flyer. Family Fun Night. Hey, you thought fundraising events were something recent? Nope, they've been doing it since the early days. And then we have a piece of memo paper, a Jack Campbell memo. And I will let the hardcore pizza timers figure out who Jack Campbell is, because I don't want to spoil the fun. Google is your friend. All right, what else we have here? Oh, here we go. Here is if you were doing a birthday party at Pizza Time Theater, this card you would sometimes find on your table. This was actually one of the first versions, or maybe the first version of the order cards that they used to do for the birthday parties. This is actually merger period, so it's not actually technically Pizza Time Theater. I think they started using these in 1986. But inside, you would basically take your guest's order. And this actually still has the mimeographed receipt. Most of these turn black after a few years, but miraculously, this one has survived so far. The old register system. And you can draw out what kind of pizzas you're going to order down here in these little circles. And they would put these on the tables to reserve the tables for the birthday parties that were booked. We will see some more of those a little bit later in one of these other binders. I have more of the more modern ones. Here's another one that's inside here, but you can see all the black stains. This is what happens to that strange metallic, it's like a silver metallic mimeograph paper that the registers used to print, and you can see after so many years it just turns black. But the document that's underneath is still, in great shape. It's just this funky paper. Usually turns black, unfortunately. Now we got into some vintage Pizza Time Theater. Who remembers Chuckybox? This was something that the walk-around characters would pass out when they would do special appearances outside of the store. They would pass out Chuckybox, and this is a fundraiser variant one, that if you did a fundraiser event at Pizza Time Theater, they would have these to either give out, or they would have like raffle drawings for. But there are many different versions of the Chuckybox over the years. You're going to see some more of them here. Ooh, pretty colors. Lots of different colors. These are slightly newer style that came along a little bit later. Oh, here's a nice green one. I like the green ones. Very cool. And then above and below, we have merger era Chuck E. Cheese's paper gift certificates. These were, I don't know if these are dated, but I know they were like 85, 86. They started using these. But they had a couple different variants of them. We'll see some more of those a little bit later. Some Chuckybox. And now we've got a jumble of some postcards here. These are all postcards that were sent in the mail for promotional purposes. This one up here is a coupon that appeared in the New England area phone books. Phone books, they used to have a couple of pages in there with a bunch of coupons of local businesses. And this was a coupon that came out of the phone book for the Danvers, Mass. Chuck E. Cheese's back in the day. This one's actually from 1987, so it's merger period. It's naughty of them to use that Pizza Time Theater logo. They weren't supposed to be doing that back then. But yeah, these other ones are just postcards that they would send out to encourage people to come back. Check out this one. This one has Chucky and Billy Bob from Showbiz Pizza Place on the card. And then over here on the side, we have a token roll that were used in like the late 90s, early 2000s that you would actually roll tokens in. You would actually sell rolls of tokens. And that's one of the paper token rolls. On this other flip side, we have a really awesome early Pizza Time Theater flyer. This is actually an original. And it's Chucky telling everybody to come on down to my place and spend some money. Oh, no, wait, he wasn't doing that back then. He was inviting people to come down and be entertained. That's what he was doing back in Pizza Time Theater days. And then over here on the side, we have some an original and then two reproductions of the free Chucky Pass that I was talking about earlier. These are things that we would use at the store if we had guest experience issues or we wanted to do something special for a guest. We would give them one of these, and it would entitle them to free pizza, drinks, tokens, whatever we would write on this line. And then it had to be signed by a manager and dated. And they could come back anytime in the future and use that. And we used a bunch of those over the years. More Pizza Time Theater goodness. We have an original bumper sticker that I bought in 1981. I've never had a car. I've never, had a need to have a car. So I never stuck it on my car. So here it is, mint condition. And then underneath here, we have a business reply envelope to send back to Jewel Kamen. And anyone out there in Pizza Time Theater that knows their Pizza Time Theater history should know who Jewel Kamen is. Very important person in the history of the concept. And this you actually use to send this back to Jewel. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to really see this at home. Try to get in a little close here. This is actually a cosmetic survey for your replacement cyberamic parts. And Jewel wanted to know, if there was any issues with your cosmetic parts. And this particular one is noted as being for a pair of BB bubble ears, which I have in the other room. But again, we're only doing paper media today, kids. Maybe we will do some of the other items like cyberamic items and collectibles on another program. But you would fill this, you'd get your replacement parts and you would fill this out and send it back to Pizza Time Theater Incorporated, to Jewel, and let her know if, they were wearing out in a certain part or there was something else, that had poor design or there was a reason why the part had to be replaced so soon. She wanted to know. And then, of course, here's her signature right down here at the bottom. Because Jewel was head of the wardrobe department, and she had a big hand in the overall look of those cosmetics and how those characters looked back during the Pizza Time Theater period and beyond. And now here is an original Pizza Time Theater flyer that they would have printed up at stores to give out to guests that were interested in booking a birthday party at Pizza Time Theater. And this has the two party packages they offered at the time, the Chucky package and the Jasper T. Jowls package. They were pretty much the same except for the difference in how many tokens that you received. And look at that pricing. Oh, yeah. Well, in 1981, money went a lot further than it does nowadays. There's a couple of different different ones of these flyers. It's got that really awesome artwork. We'll see it. We're going to be seeing a couple of different ones of these. On this backside is a rare item. This is, again, as I was saying earlier, my local store was a franchise up until about 1985. And since they're a franchise, they could kind of do their own thing. And this is one of the things they used to do. This was a custom-made flyer. Every month they would give this out to the guests. And every day there would be some kind of a special event happening at the store that they would do to try to encourage business. And there's all kinds of fun activities on here. Again, I don't know how clearly you guys are going to be able to see this at home. But if you could freeze frame it and there's any kind of quality, you might be able to read some of those fun things. There's Chucky had a senior citizen club for kids over 65. So, because back then, kids, Chuck E. Cheese's was for everybody. It just wasn't for the toddlers, okay? It was for everybody, and that's why they were so successful. And then, let's see, we have the wear pink and red and receive 2 tokens on this day. Oh, and they've got a free bingo happening where they're giving away prizes. And then they have story time day. I mean, all kinds of fun things that they would do. Speaking of birthdays, hey, it's appropriate that the birthday shows are playing now. Here's another flyer. This one is from 1985, 1986, merger period. And again, it's talking about the different party packages that you can book at Chuck E. Cheese's.
Happy birthday, friend.
And again, pretty much the similar packages. And they'd print these up, and they would give these out at the store. This is the back side of the flyer, where it actually explains what it's like to have a birthday party. It goes through the whole process of what happens, very similar to what they've done since the beginning. But yeah, cool stuff. All right, so let's see, what else is in here? Oh, here's something else that some pizza timers might be familiar with. This is actually merger period, but this was from 1985. This was the special custom Halloween show that they did back in the day. And this is actually a original. Is this a real? No, this is actually a photocopy. The original my friend has, but he let me make a photocopy of it. This was actually a manual that they sent out to help you install this at your store. So this was the front page here with Count Chuckula. And on the inside, it tells you everything you need to know to install Count Chuckula's Halloween 1985 for your balcony stage. And then these are all the parts that you needed. And the more interesting part is when you kind of get into this section where it actually helps you dress your cyberamic characters on the stage for the Halloween Spectacular. And this is showing you how to take the different pieces that they sent you and dress up cyberamic Chucky to look like Count Chuckula. And of course, Munch was dressed up as a Native American. And the company would actually send you all of these parts. These are all pre-made parts they would send you, and you would attach them to your cyberamic character up on the balcony stage. They did several different shows like this, including the reel that I'm playing right now for Bandstand 2. The characters all had custom costumes. Here is Broadway Helen Henny dressed as a witch. What's interesting is I don't think I have ever seen any photographs from this time period showing these characters wearing these costumes. But we have Pirate Pasquale. And then we have Jailbird Jasper. And then here we have a drawing of what your balcony stage is supposed to look like with the really cool backdrop on the back there. This was a gigantic rolled up paper backdrop that they sent you, and the graphics are really cool. I have a friend who actually owned the original, and unfortunately it did not survive many years of survival and display use. But check that out. That was like a giant design that they sent that you just unrolled and stapled to the backboard of your balcony stage. I just think that's a really cool backdrop. And that was just showing you what your backdrop was supposed to look like. So that's a pretty cool little mini manual. So again, that was from the Halloween 1985 show, merger period. Let's go ahead and stick that back in here. Gee, I think we got to the end of the reel already. Really? Already? Well, I guess I'll have to rewind. I didn't realize that was so short. But, well, yeah, here we go. Here's some more birthday order cards. These are two different variants. This one was from 97. They used this from 97 to, like, 2000 about. Actually, the tablecloth I put out for today, it matches this. I'm very familiar with this one because we were using these when I was working at Chuck E. Cheese's at the time. But it's the same kind of idea. It's just an order card, so the guests can look at all the menu items on the back. On the front, it would talk about, who the birthday star was, who your party hostess was. And then inside, at the end of the party, your guests would fill out the comment card, let you know what good job you did, or maybe you didn't do such a good job and something needed to be corrected. They'd let you know down here. And then in, let's see, 2001, 2002, they started using this style. They kind of revamped the designs a bit. There's two variants. You'll see in one of these other ones. They did a purple variant. There's also a blue variant, slightly different, primarily to change the pricing on the back. Because, of course, kids, Chucky's pricing is always going up. Oh, did I say that out loud? Sorry. Well, anyways, this is pretty much the same thing. And they would put these on the table. This one actually, I think, is a trifold. Yes. Ooh, look at that. Trifold. You would just kind of stand this up on their table underneath the cake stand. So when your guests arrive, they could look at this and decide what they'd like to order on the menu. And then again, the same thing. There's like a comment card inside. You put your guest's order here. So very similar to that really that old one from 85, 86 I was showing a little earlier. All right, I think I rewound this too much. So we're going to have to fast forward a little bit. What's interesting about these old original show reels is there's a large gap of no audio and no signals at the start of these. I'm not sure why that is. There must be a valid reason as to why, but I know over the years as I've played these, I've had to fast forward quite a bit before we get to any of the audio. Oh, hey, now here's something interesting. This isn't necessarily paper, but it's in here because it's flat. It's a original plastic children's bib from Pizza Time Theater. Yes, I'm a freak. I saved everything. I remember, I think I got this at the Brandon, Florida Chuck E. Cheese's back in the day. And it is actually a very carefully folded plastic baby bib. And yes, I'm a freak, and I actually collected up the other designs over the years, too. They're not in these binders. This is the only one that's in here. But I have all of them right up to the current day, because you got to collect them all, kids. All right, let's slip that back in there. That's kind of cool, the baby bib. And here's some more Pizza Time Theater era paraphernalia. Another variant of that flyer, except this is kind of the budget version. Instead of having the cool full color with the red background, we kind of have this, the inexpensive quick-to-print version, but it's exactly the same coupon, $2 off a large pizza. Over here, we have a merger era paper gift certificates. This is pretty cool. This is from 1988. And inside, you have your paper gift certificates you can bring down to your local Chuck E. Cheese's and get some goodies. There's quite a few of them in here. And what's best about these, if you look closely, I don't know if you can see at home, but there is no expiration date on these. So these are still valid. Yes, kind of like old Walt Disney World tickets. The ones that never used to expire? Yeah. But I mean, who wants to use these? They're collectible. I wouldn't spend them. They're just going to stay right in the archive here. And, oh, hey, here we go. This is kind of fun. Now, some of our diehard fans might know about how back in the day, Pizza Time Theater had several franchises outside of America, and one of them was in Australia, and it was called Charlie Cheese's Pizza Playhouse, and this is a original brochure from that location. And as you can see, it is done in the style of the original 1977 Pizza Time Theater menu program. And this is pretty cool. Now, for some of you who aren't familiar with Charlie Cheese's Pizza Playhouse, you're probably wondering, well, why did they call it Charlie Cheese's? Well, in Australia, the slang term for vomiting is chucking. So they couldn't really use Chucky Cheese because that would be kind of disgusting for a restaurant. So they changed the name to Charlie Cheese's, but they used exactly the same artwork and branding. And then just like the similar one, inside they showed all the different characters. And then when you fold it out again, I believe this brochure is also on showbizpizza.com. If you folks want to go check out their archive section, they have really nice digital scans of a lot of stuff like this. And I'm pretty sure they have this up there as well, so you guys can read all the fine print because it is interesting. Oh, hey, check out this vintage photo down here of our favorite rat. Oh, yeah. That's a cool picture. And then on the back here, we've got their version of the original Pizza Time Theater logo, but of course it's Charlie Cheese's Pizza Playhouse. And there's a little map of where it used to be located. Yep. Australia. Alright, let's slip that back in here. And here's another original brochure from way back. I'm gonna pull this out so I can show this to you guys. This is a gem. This is from 1981. And this brochure I actually grabbed as in 1981 back in the day at the Brandon, Florida Chuck E. Cheese's. It is printed on textured paper, which is very cool. And it's got this really cool vintage artwork of classic Rat surrounded by his fan club. I think we can all relate to that. And inside, it's basically a brochure that's kind of just giving you an overview of what Pizza Time Theater is all about and some of the services they have, such as group events, birthday parties, corporate events. They also have the Chucky fan club. Here's some more cool custom artwork down here at the bottom of one of the group tours they used to do for schools. You could actually, back then, elementary schools were invited to come to their local Pizza Time Theater, and for a small fee, one of the employees would give them a full tour of the store, including behind the scenes in the kitchen. You can see the Cyberamics show controller computer. Here's another really cool old artwork of Chuck there holding some money. Hey, it's all about the money. Well, it wasn't all about the money back then, Chuck. That came later. Unfortunately, the corner of this got torn. But, yeah, it talks about Jasper's General Store, the fundraising events, the youth teams. You know, they were trying to encourage pretty much everybody to come down and have their group event. And then on the back, we have the classic 8182 logo. And then again, it's talking about franchise info. Hey, anybody out there want to have a franchise of Pizza Time Theater? It's your big chance. It's the info right there. And then the store hours back then. And they're open till midnight. Because remember, it wasn't just for the kids. It was for everybody. That's why Pizza Time Theater was so awesome. It wasn't just for the kids. All right, let's slip that back in there. On the flip side, we have another flyer. This is also open, and so it can lie flat in here. This is a full-color birthday flyer that they did back in 1982. And this one was for this one came out of the Danvers store, but some really cool graphics. Front cover, you know, it's just laid flat. Back cover, front cover. And the inside looked like this. This is actually a photocopied version because the original I have somewhere else, but to display it in the binder, I made a color photocopy so I could have all sides showing. So this would be the front and back cover, and then this would be the inside when you opened it up. And again, it was talking about having a birthday party at Pizza Time Theater. And some more cool vintage artwork. And then on the other side here, we have a single flyer variant. So, as you can see, it's the same artwork that they're using. But instead of having a brochure that folded out, this was just a flyer that they could hand out at the store. And on the flip side, if I can get this out here without... Here we go. On the flip side, you have a very similar layout to the brochure. The exact same artwork, covering pretty much the same topics. And this came out of the Brandon, Florida Chuck E. Cheese's because I actually grabbed this myself back in 1982. And I've saved it all these years. And it's, like I said, it's basically the mate to the full brochure. Same artwork and everything, as you can see. So kind of like, more of like a budget version. Kind of something quick you can give out to your visitors. And I was talking about how they used to have the elementary schools come in and do the behind-the-scenes tour. Well, this is actually a flyer from the Sacramento, California Pizza Time Theater that is advertising that. So for $2, you can bring, your school classroom into Chuck E. Cheese's and do a behind-the-scenes tour. And they also get to have something to eat, and they get some tokens to play with, too. Yeah, I'd like to see Chuck E. Cheese's today try that, huh? I don't think they would want people knowing what goes on behind the scene. All right, here's some more single flyers from Merger Period. We have Chucky and that bear together again. These were from 1986, I believe. And it was two styles. They did this style when they were still kind of... this was the first variant. This was from the mid-'80s, where they still had both of the old style logos. Chuck and that bear were trying to make everybody think they were best buddies. And then a little bit later on, actually, I think this one's from 92. Slightly different style birthday party flyer. They updated the logos. And these are just printed on one side. There's nothing on the back side. And these are both originals. Interesting. On the flip side, we have some photographs that Chucky used to give out to his fans when he would come out and visit them. This was before live shows. That didn't come until much later. But whenever Chucky would come out and visit his fans, he would give out one of these photographs. This particular one from 92 has his autograph on it because, Chucky's a busy rat and he's not always able to hand sign photographs for all his fans. So they would print up these glossy prints and he would come out and actually give these out to all his fans. The Danvers, Massachusetts location did this back in 87, 88, I think it was. Might have been 86. This was their version that they did. Many years before this. So, I wonder where they got that idea. But this was the version that we had that Chucky would give out to the kids when he'd come out and visit. He didn't sign it, though. Maybe back then, he actually signed it by hand. But that's what those are. And then down here, we have a Wilmington, North Carolina ticket. This is like a little paper that would have a amount of tickets that would be up here. Like the idea was you would turn in tickets at the counter and they would weigh them to count them. They didn't have ticket munchers back in the early 90s. And a manager would actually tally up what tickets you had and write it in this little corner here on this card. And then they would sign it and date it and give it back to you. And that was proof that you had whatever amount of tickets you had. So you didn't have to carry around, in this case, 354 tickets in a plastic bag. You could just hold on to this little piece of paper. And as you can see, it has Chucky there playing some skee ball. It's the same graphic that they actually used on these skee ball marquees back then. So that's kind of a cool little collectible. And speaking of cool collectibles, check this out. It's some stickers. These are giant stickers you used to be able to buy at the merch counter back in 1990. We have Chuck and we have Munch, who at that time was just newly redesigned. And same thing with Pasquale. At the time, this was brand new artwork that they were rolling out for the characters. On the flip side, we have Jasper and Helen from 1990. This was a brand new look for Helen back then. And then we have Coach Chucky, who came along a little bit later. And this is a giant sticker. They would sell it at the merch counter. Oh, hey, more brochures. These are original brochures that would fold out with all kinds of information inside. This one's from 1992, I believe. It's kind of got some cool Tux Chuck artwork in here when you open it up. And similar to that really old one I was showing earlier, it just kind of has an overview of the different services at Chuck E. Cheese's Pizza back then. And this was also made so you could mail it out to people to try to entice them to come to your store. And then we have this brochure that was from 1994. Some of you out there are probably very familiar with this one because I have to admit I have a zillion of these. And I give them out to all the fans. Anybody who wants one of these, I have a whole bunch. So get in touch because, boy, do I have these brochures. We had these at Danvers for many, many years. And when it was time to get rid of them, I ended up just taking them home because they were going to throw them away. So I have brand new mint condition ones. If anybody out there watching would like to have a brochure, get in touch and I will tell you how to get one. But this is from 1994. We've got Tux Chuck right there, front and center. We've got a birthday party happening there. And then inside it talks about, at that time, what the birthday package entailed. And you can see the vintage plastic goodie bag they used to give out then. I actually have one of those in the other room. Well, we will save that stuff for another day. It's going to take us a while just to go through this stuff. All right. I guess we're in the brochure section now. We've got a couple other variants. Here's another. I'm not sure about this one here. I haven't opened this one in a long time. Is this a card? No, this is actually a fold-out brochure. One you don't see too often. It's made to look like a little kid wrote it on the cover here. Talking about having the best party ever. This was a birthday party brochure. Not overly exciting. This is back when they were really kind of focusing on just the little kids. But same kind of idea, just kind of promoting the birthday parties. Not one of my favorites because it doesn't have any cool Chucky art on it or anything. And then we have here the rare breakfast treats flyer. Back in, I don't know if it was 2000 or 2001. Oh, no, it was actually 1999? I don't know, for some reason I keep thinking it's 2000. This brochure, this flyer in fourth quarter 1999, Chuck E. Cheese has decided to test out a breakfast concept at some of their locations. And my store, Danvers, Mass, was actually one of the locations that did this. I personally didn't think it was really a good idea, but I give them credit for at least trying it. But their idea was they wanted to open at 9 in the morning and serve breakfast. And now I'm not talking bacon and eggs breakfast. I'm talking pre-wrapped, muffins and pastries and small boxes of dry cereal and fruit like bananas and oranges and coffee, tea, and orange juice. That was breakfast at Chuck E. Cheese's. And we ran the promotion for a very short time, and the company sent us a whole bunch of these. So, hey, if anybody out there wants one of these too, get in touch, because I have a zillion of these too. But these are kind of hard to come by because not many stores did this. And we would actually give these out to try to encourage people to come back and try out our breakfast program. And this was 10 free tokens and a free coffee. So, at least the soccer moms, could get a little caffeine buzz while they brought their kids there to Chuck E. Cheese's at 9 a.m. in the morning. Why would anyone want to do that? That's insane. But anyways, I promised I wasn't going to do any comments, overly opinionated commentary today, but I can't help myself when I look at this breakfast treats flyer. Needless to say, it was a spectacular failure, and it was soon discontinued and in the history books. But I have all of the marketing paraphernalia, and I even have the breakfast treats wooden rack that we used to display all the pastries and goodies on. Yeah, because I'm a freak like that. So that's all I can think of when I see that flyer is what a failure that was. But I at least give them credit for trying. At least they tried. More brochures, getting more into the more modern period. I'm not going to open these up because I think most of our viewers are probably very familiar with these newer style brochures. Same thing, advertising birthday parties. Backside has some company brochures. This one is about getting a job at Chuck E. Cheese's. So if anybody out there wants to get a job at Chuck E. Cheese's, this was the brochure that you could get from one of the managers at the store. Let me pull this out. This is actually kind of neat. Yeah, so any location could give this out. And inside it kind of hypes up, hey, be a manager or be a cast member here at Chuck E. Cheese's. This was from 1999. They used this for a few years. And look at this. When you fold it out, it's actually an application to sign up. Wow. Yep. So, yeah. I think I have a zillion of these, too. I kept everything. I'm bad. What can I say? All right. I think those are the brochures that are in here. Now, let's get into some interesting stuff here that might be a little unusual for some of our viewers. These are the original test token cards that they tried out at the Irving, Texas Chuck E. Cheese's back in, let's see if I can remember. I don't know, what was it, 2000? They did it twice. I don't know if it was 2005 and 2007 or, I don't know. I got lucky because the two times they were trying this out, I was there. So I actually got to experience this test with the early token cards. These are some originals here. They had the super discount card, and then they also had Chucky's token card because they were testing out the concept of trying to get rid of the tokens and do it electronically, like today when they have Playpass. So this was pre-Playpass. This is when they were trying it out. And here's one of the sign-up forms for the Chucky's discount card. I can't remember off the top of my head what the significance is with this. It apparently gave you some kind of a discount in the store, but I don't remember what it was. And you had to sign up in advance for it. But the token cards, very much like the Play Pass of today. You would buy your tokens at a special bill changer machine, and it would spit out one of these cards, and you'd use that to play the games. And speaking of playing games, I think some of this is falling out here. Yes, this fell out. On the flip side here, speaking of playing games, is some of the rare full-color tickets that the company used over a short period of time in the early 2000s. We have a sheet of stickers here from the Avenger era. These are not stuck in here because I was trying to preserve these without using any tape. But if I get a little closer, you can take a look at these really cool full-color tickets. They did 3 different styles. And I will say that this variant here, the true full-color tickets, they didn't last very long because they were very expensive to produce. And they had the full-color graphic of Chuck on the front. And on the back side, they had a giant barcode because not only were they testing the token cards, they were also testing ticket munchers or a style of some kind of a barcode scanning counter. So instead of weighing your tickets at the counter, you could just have the barcode scanned and it would count your tickets for you. So this was kind of a transitional attempt. But I loved the full color tickets. I thought they were cool. But like I said, they didn't last very long because right around the same time that they did the full color tickets, they were rolling out the ticket munchers. So people weren't holding on to these. They were basically destroying them on the spot. And it was just a complete waste of money. So the company did away with those. Here's another variant. It's not the glossy full color, but they're still full color printed tickets. And again, on the back side is a giant barcode for those early scanning machines and the early versions of the ticket munchers. But, I thought these were really cool. But these are kind of hard to find now because, like I said, most people just crunched them up in the crunching machines. And that was the end of it. Here is the budget full color version of this other version that came out a little earlier. The same thing. Big Big barcode on the back. I think actually these tickets came out of the Irving, Texas store back when they were testing those token cards. But these are cool. Some you don't always see. The full color tickets. They didn't last very long. Way too expensive. And we got some more paper goods. We've got an official CC Entertainment company envelope and some more marketing paraphernalia. And we have Chucky Super Students. This was a certificate that could give out to kids if they did a great job on their report card. And let's see, we've got, ooh, hey, this is kind of cool. This is from 1998, 1999. This is your birthday deposit card. And this is actually a unfolded. This actually folds in half. So it's like a little card that would hold your birthday deposit card, which I have some original ones in here. Back in 98, 99, when you booked a birthday party, you had to also pay a deposit to save your spot. And at the time, they would put your deposit on one of these cards. It was kind of like a gift card, but they called it a birthday deposit card. And we would slip it in this little cardboard holder and give it to the guests. If they came into the store to book their party, they would get to take one of these home with them. A little bit later on, I will show you some of those original cards. But that's actually a cool thing. I forgot I had that. And another one of those birthday order cards that I was showing earlier. Here's a paper gift card envelope from that same time period, 98, 99. And then we got Chucky's Big Winner certificate. Another idea, it's like a voucher. You would count your tickets ahead of time at the front counter. You know, they'd weigh your tickets. The manager would write the amount here and then sign it. So you wouldn't have to carry around all the tickets. You would just carry this voucher. And then we have a Chucky Promise, original Chucky Promise sticker that used to go on the blue table tents that would go on the restaurant tables back in the day. That was supposed to signal that a manager needed to check with the table, make sure their food was good. We used to get these stickers once in a while to put on the blue tents because they would get kind of cruddy after so many uses. And yes, because I'm a freak, I saved one, so yeah. I think I got some of those table tents somewhere too. Oh, now here's some cool things. Company Christmas cards from CEC Entertainment. They used to actually send these to the stores. And yeah, because I'm a freak, I saved them. Because, you know, the managers, the general manager would we'd hang it on the office wall for the couple weeks, around Christmas time when they send this to us. And then they'd throw it in the trash. And I'd be like, you're not throwing that in the trash. That's going into the archive. So here we go. Here's I think this was the 2001 one. And you open it up and it's from Home Office. And it's got everybody's signature in there that was a big wig at Home Office at the time. See if I can recognize. Oh, yeah. So we got Mark Flores right here in the middle. And who else is in here? No, I don't recognize any of these other names. But maybe some other people out there might. Some of the bigwigs that were working at Home Office back then. But this was a custom printed Christmas card that they would send out to all of their stores. And then in this particular case, it's Cheesin's Greetings. If you can't read that, yep. And, of course, you notice the moon is made out of cheese up here, yeah. I got to admit, Chuck had a sense of humor back then. And then I think this was the one that came the following year. This was the Happy Holidays. This was the card that they sent to all the stores. And inside here, we have a hand-autographed card from Mark Flores, who was an important figure back then. No, actually, this came out 2000. Yeah. It's dated 99, but I'm pretty sure that they sent this Christmas 2000. But I could be wrong. Maybe it was Christmas 99. So I think this one came first, and then this one came after it. I don't know. You get to be my age. You can't remember all this stuff. And on the flip side here, we have some more Christmas cards that are from the company. But these are kind of generic. These aren't custom Chucky designs. But it was still kind of cool. This is actually signed by Mike Maguziak and Dick Frank. Check it out. Wow. And again, they would send these to every location. And they were usually tossed in the trash after a couple of weeks of hanging on the manager's wall. But this is another one they sent to the stores. And again, this one's actually hand autographed by Jeremy and Rob Gotcher, I believe, is right down here in the corner. And Brent is on here, and Will, and let's see, who else do I recognize? Wow. And that one's actually hand autographed. Pretty cool. And again, they would send this to every location. They would get one of these. It was kind of a nice gesture. Of course, I preferred these that actually had the custom Chucky graphics, but I just think it's really cool that they went to the trouble to do that back then. Well, it looks like we've gotten to the end of this binder pretty much. There's only a couple more things we've got here. We've got this cool merger period artwork that came off of a t-shirt. And yeah, it's that rat and bear again. Oh, on the flip side here, absolutely nothing related to Chuck E. Cheese's. It's a Circus Playhouse restaurant flyer. Absolutely nothing related to Chuck E. Cheese's. And let's see if there's anything else interesting in here. We've got the Rat Tails comic book. I think most people out there already are familiar with the Rat Tails comic book from Pizza Time Theater era. If not, go to showbizpizza.com and check it out. I'm not going to go through all the pages here. Probably need to speed up the process a little bit. I don't want this to go on too long. Oh, hey, here's a fun item. Well, I think we ran out of music again. All right, I think I need to go and get a another tape to play. I didn't realize this show tape was so short. Now, this is a really cool item from the early 2000s. This was the Starcast member handbook, and I thought this was awesome. This was something that we would give to new hires that would come on board at a store. And this had all of the company policies and everything they needed to know about being an employee at Chuck E. Cheese's. And what's so super cool about it, as you can see, is they made it to look like a giant comic book. And it's just packed full of all kinds of cool graphics. I mean, check this out. Here's Helen and Chuck at the time dressed how you were supposed to dress as a cast member. And it's really a fun little booklet that they did. Everything you need to know about being a cast member at Chuck E. Cheese's. And then on the back cover, they have the history of Chuck E. Cheese. And it's a very abbreviated history. I will say that. Here, let me hold this up so you guys can get a better look. That's on the back cover of the really cool Starcast member handbook. Yep. Everything you need to know about working for Chuck E. Cheese's. Well, at least everything that they dare print. Of course, those of us who have worked for the company know that you can't, there's no way you can put everything in a booklet, but they came pretty close with this one. And it's in this really cool themed package, too. All right, so I'm going to have to go ahead and change this. Or actually, why don't I leave that? Let me go get some more music that we can play. In the meantime, let me put something out that you guys can look at. I think we're all set with this binder. Let's see. What can I put out that you guys could look at that would be kind of cool while I run upstairs and get a cassette tape? Oh, I know. I can let you guys take a look at this while I go up there. And I'll let you just take a look at this really cool front cover of the Chuck E. Cheese's Magical Wardrobe binder. This is your guide to properly training and also how your costume characters should appear and behave at your location. So I will just go ahead and set that right there. And let me run upstairs and get a cassette tape for some more Chucky music. Yeah, we love our analog technology, kids. So instead of breaking out a reel, I'm going to make it a little easier for myself. I'm going to break out my Chucky cassette tapes. Since we played some Pizza Time Theater era music, let's go ahead and play some more modern music, some kind of early 2000s Chucky music while we go through some more of this stuff. All right, well, okay, so 90s instead of early 2000s. I suppose that's a good lead-in. All right, so let's go ahead and breeze through some more of this stuff quick. I don't want to take too much time dwelling on too much of it. We'll get out the really big binder this time. I'm going to have to hold this up and just kind of flip through it. All right, here in the front we have Department 18 show newsletters. Every time they would send out a VHS tape of the shows in the early 2000s, they would send this really cool full-color newsletter that would tell you about the show. It would usually on the back cover have lots of photos of scenes from the different shows. And inside it would list the shows that were still valid because they didn't want you playing anything that you weren't supposed to be playing at your store. Of course, some of us were naughty and did that anyway, but gee, I don't know any of those people. But anyways, yep, so there was a whole bunch of these that they did over the years. Pretty neat. And again, these would come with your show tape, and most, managers or the tech managers would look at it for about 5 minutes, and then they'd throw it in the trash. But freaks like me saved them. So here they are today. Here's a good one. These are for all early 2000 shows. This was September 2000, summer 2000, April 2001. So yeah, the Just for Kids show. Oh, this binder is really heavy. This one's January 2000. Oh, I don't think I'm going to be able to hold this up. It's too heavy. Oh, here we go. This one's pretty cool. This is a flyer they sent out with the second version of the Chucky Roadshow. The Roadshow was kind of a new concept at that time, where they were trying to engage guests with the costume character at the front of the store in the game room. So Chucky would, and usually a cast member or two would come out with a giant boombox and play a live show, and Chucky would just do a little dance routine up at the front of the store. And this was a flyer they sent out promoting the second version of that CD they were going to send to the stores. They tried to make it look like a little movie poster, which I thought was kind of fun. On this side, here, I'm going to have to do the same thing I did earlier. I'm going to have to just take the pages out. This is just too heavy for me to hold. Here's an original 1997, 1998 birthday party visor hat. Oh, yeah. Hey, and it's Nolan Bushnell's U-Wink. If you guys aren't familiar with what this is, the creator of Chuck E. Cheese's Pizza Time Theater started a new restaurant entertainment concept back in 2006, 2007-ish. And this is actually a menu brochure from one of his restaurants out in California. And what's interesting to me is it's the same shape and kind of similar style as the Pizza Time Theater brochure that they did back in 1977. So I just thought that was kind of neat. Man, I sure do have a lot of these birthday party. Well, I guess I wanted to be safe and make sure I kept all the variants. Well, here's the two variants. We have the blue and the purple. But we've already seen those. We don't need to see more of those. Let's see what else we have here. How about a store layout? The Grandmaster floor layout of the Danvers, Mass. Chuck E. Cheese's. Every single Chuck E. Cheese's needed to have one of these for their store. And the different colors differentiates the different areas of the store. Let's see, what year was this? This was, I have this upside down. Whoops. Silly me. Yeah. So I think this was the early 2000s, this particular version. Yes, before we got, actually, this was 99 because we still got the kitty ball crawl down here in the corner. And we have our huge ball sky tube combo in this area, which that was long gone later on. But yeah, look at how huge our showroom was back then. It was awesome. Yep. Good times. Don't ask me why I have this. Oh, hey, here we go. This is why I have this. Because this is the Chuck E. Cheese front of house cleaning plan. Oh gosh, I've got an insane amount of this stuff. We're not going to go through all this though. This is basically telling you each day of the week, there was a certain area of your store you had to clean. And then this layout map, the different areas, the colors correspond with the days of the week and what area of the store you're supposed to focus on. Oh gosh, I am a freak. Why do I keep this stuff? Yep, it's showing you what areas you're supposed to be cleaning on different days. Some of the stuff that's on here, I don't think they do even bother doing anymore, like, washing the kitchen floors and polishing the stainless steel. And I think the worst was cleaning the grout between the tiles at your front of house and in your bathrooms. Yeah. Thankfully, I didn't have to do most of that. And look, just in case you want to know how to properly roll out and bun your pizza dough, here's a complete guide to how to do that. Don't ask me why I have that either. Why is that in here? That shouldn't even be in here. Let's get back to the fun print media stuff. Check this out. We have a cash register token machine decal that went back in the day when you would buy food at Chuck E. Cheese's and you would get a few free tokens to start getting you addicted to playing the games. They used to have this little countertop token dispenser that was hooked up to the cash register in the mid to late 90s. And this is actually a sticker that you would stick on the front of it to make it Chucky themed. And then we have a promo sticker promoting our promo cups from 2000, 2001. This is a card that used to go on plush animals' ears. We used to sell photo frames to put your photo ride photo in. And then there was a whole series of these little cardboard signs that you could put on your promo cups at the front counter to try to entice people to buy them. This is just one of a plethora of different ones. And we have some stickers from the late 90s, early 2000s. I particularly like these down here for a very unusual Galaxy 5000 theme stickers. We used to sell at the merch counter back when that video first came out. The less that's said about that, the better. More stickers. These are from a little later on. We got some Wonderland stickers up here. We have some Sport Chucky stickers. Down here, we've got some Avenger era stickers. Every few months or so, they do a different version. So we have Super Chuck stickers. We have kind of a hippie 60s theme, and then we have a magician themed set. Everybody loves stickers. Oh, now we're going to get into the table tent cards. Okay, here's another thing that I don't think anybody saved except freaks like me. These are table tent cards. Now, I suppose, I don't know if I can easily get the plastic table tent that I have, so maybe I'm just going to have to describe what it is. I do have one, but it's kind of like buried in the archive in the back there. But it was a red plastic, triangular-shaped object that you would put on your tables in your restaurant, or you would put it on top of the napkin holder in your Chuck E. Cheese's restaurant. And every couple of months, the company would send you these cardboard inserts that would snap into this triangular thing that would sit on the table. And there was a whole series of these. This is from the kind of the mid-90s with Tux Chuck and advertising about getting a job at Chuck E. Cheese's. But that's what these cards are. They are the cards that would snap into that plastic table topper. And, of course, being the freak I am, I kept all the ones we had at the time I was working for the company, including the rare breakfast treats variant and the Chuck E. Cheese's mac and cheese and pizza bites variant. You don't see too many of these. That one's actually pretty rare. This was actually food products that they sell at the grocery store back in the early 2000s. The super cheesy Chucky's mac and cheese. And then we had, in the frozen food section, we had the pizza pull-aparts. They also had pizza bites. And advertising gift cards. Then we got into this variant in 2000. And they were usually in threes because it was a triangular-shaped object, so you wanted to have three different designs on each side, so that's why these are kind of laid out in threes. So this is one set that would be displayed. This would be another set that would be displayed all together. Same thing with this. It's three. It's educational. Here's another set of three. This came along, I think, in 2001 or so. I don't know. I can't keep track of the years. Most of these are dated. No, these are 2001. But, yep, more table tents. There's a couple other ones. New for You promo. Another one of those promo cup signs. Here's some from 2002. Again, you can see it's a 3 very similar designs. This was they usually reflected the marketing that they were doing at the time. We'll see some more of that later. Here's a regional thing, the summer movie camp, Chucky's summer movie camp, where during the summer you could get discounted movie tickets for the kids and go see your favorite movie. And we have, oh boy, it's another one of the rare promos for the Chucky mac and cheese. Yeah, there can't be too many of those around. I don't know why I save this stuff. I'm a freak. And we got the Winter Wonderland with Avenger Chuck. And then we have the first Chucky's Summer of Fun promo stickers. Hey, you remember Chucky's Summer of Fun? These are promo stickers they used to give out. And then we had Super Chuck. I think that was 2007. And again, we have a set of 3 that would go in the table tents. I think this was one of the last table tent set they did, because they got rid of the table tents, I think, in 2008. I could be wrong. So I think that's one of the last sets that would fit in those. And then we've got the school fundraising and a Chucky's gift card. Actually, yeah, I think these two are some of the last couple of ones they did for the table tents. Oh, and hey, we've got It's a Winner ticket, unscratched. I forget what promo this was for. One of those promos come to the store, they give you one of these peel-off stickers. And, of course, they're in the archive, so they haven't been peeled. Oh, hey, it's more table tent thingies. Okay, so I was wrong. So they did do a couple more later on. These are from 2005. A couple more promos. And let's see what we have here. Oh, it's another bumper sticker from early 2000s. This was 2001. They did a whole series of Crocodile Chucky. You can see the cover of the merch. This is the official prize merchandise catalog from 2001. And they had this whole Crocodile Chucky theme that was on a lot of the merch. So you can see that the album and the bumper sticker were kind of tied into each other. This one actually has Survivor Helen on it. Check it out, Survivor Helen. Don't see her too often. Up here is this is actually a holder for Kool-Aid Bursts, which were little plastic bottles filled with very sugary versions of Kool-Aid that you used to be able to buy at the supermarket. I actually have an unopened package in the other room, believe it or not, but this is one of the holders that I saved. And Chuck E. Cheese's did a promo for them back in the early 2000s, and the idea was that the guests could cut out this cardboard token and bring it into their local Chuck E. Cheese's and get some free tokens. But I saved it because it's just got some cool artwork on it. All right, what else we got in here? Oh, hey, speaking of cool stuff you could buy at your grocery store, I also have some of these that are unopened in the other room, but this is a flat one of one that was used. It is Chuck E. Cheese's branded Jack's Cheese Snacks. Yes, kids, I saved the wrappers. And again, on the back, it's got a coupon, so you can cut it out and bring it to your local Chucky's and get some free tokens, back when they had tokens. Yeah, I actually have one of these that still has the product inside it in the other room. They did 2 sizes. They did a mini size and they did a large size bag. And, of course, I have both because that's the kind of freak I am. Oh, hey, kids. Remember earlier we were talking about the birthday deposit cards? Well, we finally got to the page that has the original cards on it. Check it out. So we got a birthday deposit card. We have a Chucky's gift card from that time. This one is for $50, so there's probably not too many of those floating around still. And then down here we have another style of birthday deposit card for $30. And they came in this really cool little cardboard holder. Remember I was showing you the one we had in the late 90s. This one is from 2001, and it was the same thing. You'd fold this in half. You put your birthday card here, your deposit card would go there, and when your guests would come in for their birthday party that they had booked, they would give us this card back, and they'd get their deposit off of their party. But that, went away after a while because it was very expensive for the company to make these things, I'm sure. So, but there's some relics from the past. On the flip side, we've got some paraphernalia from Chuck E. Cheese and the Galaxy 5000. We have a original flyer that was actually inside the VHS box with the video cassette that was putting, I think the backside is actually a coupon. Let's take a look, shall we? Pretty sure it's a coupon. Or is this stuck in here? Well, I'll peek. Oh, yes, it is. It is a coupon. All right, I'm not going to pull it out then. I'll leave it in there. The flip side is like 10 free tokens, but that was like a flyer that was inside the VHS. And then down here, we have a flyer that was also in the VHS tape that is advertising how you need to send away in the mail for your special collectible Chuck E. Cheese plush. Now, this is a little misleading because it makes you think you're going to get a plush that looks like Racer Chucky from the Galaxy 5000. But it ended up being just a generic beanbag plush that they were selling at the time. So if anybody comes across this and they think that maybe they made a special Racer beanbag Chuck, they did not, that I'm aware of. They just sent out the generic ones they were selling at the stores at the time. But, cool paper stuff nobody saves, usually gets thrown away. And then this is a sticker puzzle that we used to give out to birthday parties back in the early 2000s. The idea was you put this in the party guest token cup, and while they were sitting at the table waiting for things to begin, they could have some fun putting this picture together of Chucky. The idea was, I think this is taped in here too, but on the back of this is where you would stick your stickers. Guess I'm going to have to pull this out. But yeah, this was a freebie we give out to the birthday party. So the idea was you would peel off the little square stickers and assemble them kind of like paint by number on the back. And when you were done, you had a full color photo of, in this case, Chucky holding a Coca-Cola cup. Because, back then it was all about Coca-Cola at Chuck E. Cheese's. So again, this is something that nobody kept. The kids would use these at the birthday parties and stick the stickers all in the back, and that was that. And then they'd get thrown out at the end of the party. But freaks like me, we saved one. I'm sure there's others that are out there. There's other people out there that like to save this stuff. All right, so now we're going to start getting into some of the ad slicks that they used to do back in the day. These would appear in the advertising section. There would be like a section in like the Sunday newspaper. It was a big blob of coupons. Actually, let me show you a sample. I'll be right back. It's kind of hard to describe. I happen to have one that came in the mail yesterday. So instead of trying to describe it, I'll show it. This stuff you get in your Sunday newspaper. You open it up, and it's usually just a bunch of like ads, for your local grocery store. But sometimes there's like ad slicks in here. Looks like most kind of like this, here we go, like Burger King. Well, back then, when you flip through, sometimes you find something cool like this. You find one of these Chuck E. Cheese's ad slicks that was trying to entice you to come down to your local Chuck E. Cheese's and spend some money and have some fun. And this one is actually merger period from 1987. And you can see there's that giant rat hanging out with that family. And up here you have some coupons. And there's a whole bunch of these that I saved over the years. These are all originals that I saved myself all through the years. This particular one that I'm showing now is from 1989. Another reason I kept these is down at the bottom edge, it would list your local locations. So, of course, all of these locations are in my area here in Shiny Happy, Massachusetts. And as you go through these, and as you go through the years, you see the locations multiplying. So, for example, this one in 1987, we only have 3 locations. But by 1989, we had 5 locations. And as we go through these, you'll see that the locations keep multiplying. This one is from 1990. It's got some cool photo up there. At the time, these games were like brand new. And of course, you know, the ball pit was the latest, greatest thing at the time. And again, merger period from, in this case, like I said, this flyer's from 1990. And there's some coupons. Flip this over. This is from 1991, the following year. And again, they're really, you know, really marketing the heck out of the ball crawl. It was a really big deal back then in the very early 90s. Some more coupons. And then down at the bottom, we still have our 5 locations, but it's telling us that the Warwick, Rhode Island location has just moved down here in the corner here. So these little things are like little time capsules too. They help you kind of keep track of not only what the company was doing at the time, but you know how their approach was to marketing. This particular one is from 1992, so the following year from the one I just showed. And we still have our 5 locations listed below. I kind of like this this graphic here. Again, they're pushing the ball pit, but they've got the first version of Chuck up there with the family. And I'm going to flip this over. This next one is from 1995, and it features some really cool custom artwork. Let me hold this back so you can get kind of an idea of what it looks like. And then I'm going to bring it a little closer so you can get a look at, you know, I'm getting a little bit of reflection here. Maybe I should pull this out. Get a look at this really cool custom artwork that, hold on. Get a look at this really cool custom artwork that they did for this ad slick back then. Now, there are 2 versions of this. There might have been more, but I only ever saw 2. That's the first version. Let me show you the next one. The next one is really cool. And again, from 1992. But check this out. One of the rare times post-merger period, you know, when Pizza Time Theater went away and the company kind of was trying to merge the concepts together. One of the few rare times the company actually was using the show in its marketing. Check out this cool artwork. It actually shows the then brand new Munch's Make Believe stage. 1992, this was brand new. This was a big deal. And it's just really cool that they actually have this artwork in this advertising promoting the show. It's like one of the few times that they actually used the show in their marketing back then. Pizza Time Theater, they used it all the time. But when we start getting into the later period in the 90s, nope. Their show was rarely mentioned, it seemed. But I just think that's a really cool ad slick. And you can see that in the middle here, they list all the locations. 1992, we had quite a few locations in the New England area. They got kind of crazy. But there's some of the ads the coupons they had at the time. And I'll flip this over. We're getting into 1996. And we've got a totally different marketing approach here. Not exciting. I don't get excited about seeing pictures of kids, but hey, at least they're wearing some cool Chucky t-shirts. Check out those t-shirts they're wearing. It's cool stuff. And the coupons of the day. And then we're going to start getting into more modern stuff. This is from 1999. You can see the graphics is very similar to those table tent cards I was showing earlier. This side is from 2000. Here's one also from 2000, slightly different photo. I think this actually, no, this isn't, we're not getting into that. And then these are some smaller ones. These they would send in mail packs that contained all kinds of local business advertising. They used to send these mail packs in the mail. I haven't gotten one of those in the mail in a long time, but these are some of the little flyers that they used to include in those. I saved these because they actually specifically mention a couple of stores that are near me. And like, most of their marketing, they change the graphics every once in a while. But it was the same thing. The backside would list the stores, the 2 closest stores, and coupons to entice you to come and visit. This is more kind of like newer stuff, but I figured you guys would want to see whatever's in here. Here's some more ad slicks. These are from 2001. There's actually several different ones. I don't have enough pages in here to have them all, but all the variants are here. Collect them all, kids. I think there's 5 different variants of this one. And I just don't have enough room in this binder to have them all, but they're all here. They're all similar. They basically have pictures of kids with a overlay of the Chucky graphic next to them. 2002, kind of a boring campaign. It was just a bunch of words with a very small photo. And we still have like a zillion locations. It's kind of hard to see on this dark blue one, but there's still a zillion locations in this area at that time. Not like now. And then we get into the 2002 New For You rollout. This was a special ad slick they sent out to promote the brand new Toddler Zone. Well, actually, the big New For You promotion they had going on. So that's what that ad slick's for. And then this is more modern. This is from 2005. Am I reading that right? Yeah, 2005, where they were really pushing the school fundraising. They did a whole bunch of marketing for this. You've probably already seen this graphic earlier, but same thing. It's an ad slick that's got those coupons to try to lure you down to your local Chuck E. Cheese's and spend some money. And then speaking of I was talking about the different advertising they did then. Here's some other variants. We have the table tent card, and then we have a single flyer that they would actually give out at a store that had a couple of coupons on it. And then we've got, this is probably the most recent ad slick I've been able to find for current Chuck E. Cheese's. And I don't really see these much. It's pretty boring. You never even know it was Chuck E. Cheese's unless you looked really close at the Fun Break logo. So yeah, kids, there's like, are you noticing something here? You never even know that this one was Chuck E. Cheese's, okay? That needs to be remedied, all right? All right. So there's our ad slicks. Now, the rest of this catalog, I think, is mostly, or binder, I should say, is show-related stuff. Like, it's very important that you know how your lights are laid out on your show stage from Pizza Time Theater era. Most of this stuff is online out there, so I'm not really going to go through this because I think, like I said earlier, if you're interested in seeing this stuff where you can actually read it, I highly recommend going to showbizpizza.com because they have all of this stuff scanned where you can actually read it. I don't think you're really going to be able to see it on here. Pizza Time Theater's the little shavers, where all their movements are, your light bar, all that stuff. We're not going to get into that because, like I said, I don't think you're really going to be able to see it on the screen here. And I will put that back in there later. Here's another thing that's on showbizpizza.com, but this one is interesting enough that I'll go ahead and just kind of show this quick. This is the famous Entertainment 87 concept booklet that they gave out. That was kind of going through some of the concepts that the company was working on at the time. I highly recommend checking this out on showbizpizza.com when they're experimenting with some licensed products. And, of course, the famous porch/rocker stage that they tested at the Arlington, Texas Chuck E. Cheese's. This was a flyer that was talking about different things they wanted to do with the show. Showbiz TV, a forerunner to Cyberstar. The Chucky's Town Square themed showroom. This was a test concept. They never actually installed this at any store that I know of. But this was all like stuff that they were working on and wanted to try out. A lot of it didn't happen. the video wall, the wall of TVs that they were going to install in stores. They never even, that didn't get past the concept stage. The moving objects, I mean, they've had singing flowers in the past. All this like neat stuff they were thinking about doing. The bubble wall, the clear acrylic walls they were going to install in the restaurants that had bubbling water, so it would look like you're underwater. A Pepper's Ghost. They were going to try out a Pepper's Ghost effect. If you're not familiar with what a Pepper's Ghost effect is, think of the Disney theme park's Haunted Mansion and the ghost effects. They wanted to try that out at Chuck E. Cheese's and have some kind of like apparition be a part of the show. I don't think that ever went much farther than the test concept. And then, of course, 1987 was before they were doing live shows as we know them. This was an early test of that idea with a very early version of a special walk-around costume for Chucky that was supposed to be used for these live shows that had a moving mouth. You can barely see it in this photo. And, of course, we all know that by 1988, they had actually rolled out one of the first live shows. And the rest is history. Oh, Cybervision. Ooh, But this is a cool brochure. And like I said, if you go to showbizpizza.com and go into their archive section, you can look this over. There's, I think, a beautiful digital scan of this entire booklet on there. You guys check it out. It's very interesting to go and read about all of these ideas they had. And most of them they just didn't follow through on, unfortunately. But, you know, they were very ambitious and wanted to do all this cool stuff. So now we'll go back to some of this other stuff here. These are card inserts that used to be on the front counter by the registers advertising different things. Ooh, new grilled chicken sub. Gift cards. We have the Showbiz Pizza Time Incorporated order manual. You know, if you needed to order some supplies for your store, I'm just going to show the back side of this. What's this? Everything you want to order for your store for supplies. It used to be on one of these just kind of mimeographed. The back here has employee jackets, so you can get those really cool embroidered Chuck E. Cheese's or Showbiz Pizza Place satin jackets. I have a couple of those in my front closet. All right, I don't think we need to listen to live shows. Sorry, guys, I don't want to listen to live shows. I'd rather listen to the regular music. Much better. Now here's a gem. How about the Chuck E. Cheese's Technical University Manual? So you can learn all about your show in 1992. So why don't we take a look at this? Because I actually don't remember what's in here, but I really dig this cool logo that's on the front here. So this is from 1992. So this is what you would use to train up on everything on how to keep your show in order as an assistant tech. And it was this was actually part of the training of how to become an assistant tech. And it basically just kind of overviews the video system they had then and technical layouts, the opening checklist, so everything you needed to do before you opened your store. I wonder how much of this stuff the company actually still does. I don't know if there's any preventive maintenance work done on the shows these days. Oh, and then of course there's a section here about the games, the ticket mechs, how to jam those, coin mechs. It's kind of a quick overview of that. There's another catalog, or not a catalog, another manual here that kind of focuses more on the show. This is more of like a little bit of the show, a little bit of the games. Oh, Operational Cornerstones from 2000. Oh, yeah. Yep, this is actually fun to read. It's fun to read this and then compare it to today's Chuck E. Cheese's, but again, I don't know how much of this stuff you can actually read. All right, Pasquale, having a hard time. Yeah. Let me turn that down a little bit. It's a little too loud. Yeah, this is something that used to hang up on the back wall at stores, and it would just kind of give them a overview of what their focus was supposed to be at the time. It's the 2000 version and the 2001 version. Cast member news. Well, that's kind of local stuff. I don't know if you guys want to see that. Oh, here we go. Here's an ad that used to appear in a restaurant trade magazine back in the early 2000s. It's kind of just tooting their own horn. Down here in the bottom, though, there's this cool picture of them all hanging out in front of the Gardner Holt Studio C Chucky figure. And it's, basically kind of an ad that's just talking about how, good they're doing in the restaurant business. Don't ask me why I say that, but I did. And then we have the Chuck E. Cheese's 2000 conference recap when the company had a managers convention down in Orlando, Florida. This was a little brochure that they sent out. Yeah, back when they used to have, the company used to host these conventions for all of their stores. And this was just something they would send to the stores afterwards of all the people that won awards. I think my old district manager is in here somewhere. Oh, is that Mike Maguziak? Oh, check it out. Here we go. There's Mark Flores and Mike Maguziak. And who's that dude in the middle? Oh, I think he's one of the guys that won. Yeah, that's Mark Flores over here. And then we got Big Mike over here. And this is, I guess, one of the winners of their... wow. Yeah, I guess it's this guy, Chad. He won an award for big sales at his store. Who else is in here? Oh, yeah. So these are like District Manager of the Year. So this is like a little souvenir that they sent out to the stores after the convention. And again, this is something that most general managers looked at for a short time, and then they just threw it in the trash. And why I saved this, I have no idea. But I'm pretty sure my old district manager is in here somewhere. But they went down there, and they went to Universal Islands of Adventure and had a great time. Yeah, it's pretty much what it was. It was just kind of like a photo souvenir that they sent out to the general managers. Because almost all the general managers went to this. They did several of those over the years. Oh, we got some company letterhead. This is a company letterhead that's talking about how we're going to be getting a new remodel, which I think is probably why I saved this. Yes. Yeah, they're talking about the new remodel coming up. Oh, look, and there's our store map again. And then, oh, yeah, it's a flyer talking about how we're going to do a bounty for managers. Try to getting your management on board. We'll reward you with a cash prize. Oh, hey, and here we've got some cool old graphics. The ice cream machine. That was brand new at the time. And then this is a graphic of the ticket muncher. I think this was in one of our manager binders at the time. Oh, hey, and if you need to order some signage for the outside of your store, here you go. You can order the stickers for your front glass doors, or you can go ahead and order yourself one of these for the front of your store. I actually have one of these in the other room. Or maybe you need some cool Chucky gear for your managers to wear. Like, maybe they need a new computer bag. This is like some of the things that you could buy through the company. Some Chucky watches. Or maybe you're going to open your own location and you need to know what lights to put in your showroom or in your restaurant. This is actually the official light guide. I mean, seriously, why do I keep this stuff? This tells you exactly all the light bulbs that they use in the entire building. In the showroom, in the game room, the merch counter, the kitchen. Yeah. Don't ask me why I save this stuff. Hey, it's the window cling that you'd stick on your door at Christmas time to let your guests know what your holiday hours were. This was from, I think, 2001. Yep, again, I don't know why I saved that stuff. And auditions, when you wanted to hire some new cast members, you pass these out. I have quite a few of these from different locations. Here's one from Shiny Happy Danvers. This one's from Everett before it opened. Everett, Mass. New unit opening directional. So that came out of, I was given this when I helped open the Methuen, Mass location. And this just basically kind of goes over the timeline of opening a brand new store and what you're supposed to do. So I save this because it's kind of a time capsule of what their process was at the time. Everything you're supposed to do before the store opens and when things are supposed to be arriving. You know, supplies and whatnot are supposed to be arriving for your new store. All right, I think we're kind of getting to kind of the more dull stuff because I don't know about you, but this particular kind of stuff isn't really all that interesting. I know you guys were interested in kind of the graphic stuff. I'm trying to pick things that might be interesting to look at. This is a birthday party order card that they did in the early 2000s, all laminated. Let's see if there's anything else in here. How about a weekly game collection summary for your Showbiz or your Pizza Time Theater? Yeah. Basically tells you all the money that you made from the games. There's also a safe control log for your Showbiz Pizza Place or your Chuck E. Cheese's. Because, you want to keep track of all that money. And let's see. This is a weekly bill changer. Brand new, never used. Yeah, don't ask me why I have that. All right. I think we're good on the huge binder. So I'm gonna move this out of the way. And let's get on with, I'm gonna just show these two really quick. These two giant binders. This is actually a store binder that was custom made. The company sent this to you to keep your Chuck E. Cheese weekly newsletters in. And I have every issue from the time I started the company until I was forced to leave. So there's actually two of these binders. I'm just going to flip through this kind of quick. Here's some of the older ones. You can see the older style, the company newsletters. These were sent to every single Chuck E. Cheese's location. Because, this was before kind of the internet, before the stores had internet. So when the company wanted to let you know about new promotions or a new marketing campaign or something you needed to do at your store, like you needed to change something or they were going to roll out a new food product, they would announce it in one of these newsletters. So they are all time capsules as well. You go through these and there's always some interesting stuff. You can see later on they kind of got into the full color format. The back always would show the top sales volume locations for your area. Well, actually, not your area, the entire country. It would show every location that made big bucks that week. And of course, Bell, California was always number one back then. But inside would just, they just kind of, most of it was kind of dull. I mean, but every once in a while, let's start talking about the shows or new merchandise that you'd be getting into your store. So some of these are kind of cool. They talk about different things. So I'm just wanted to give you an idea of those things are out there. And again, it was something that was sent to every store and nobody kept. It was usually thrown away. Same thing with this next item. This is one of several different versions they did. This is the 2001 version. It is the prize merchandise catalog for your store that had the order catalog for that particular time period of the fun little prizes and merchandise you were supposed to have at your counter. So in 2001, they decided to do kind of a Survivor Chucky theme, and my particular district was in the yellow koala region. So each region had to order certain items for their merch. You couldn't just order pretty much what you wanted. There were certain items that you always have. And this was the guy that told you what those items were and showed you with pictures. So this one is from 1999. And you'd open it up. This was like a little folder. And inside, it would show you all of the merchandise that you could order for your merch counter. And so, for example, we'll start on this top page. You could see the items. In 1999, these are the items that the stores in this area would have for 10 tickets. And then you kind of go down the list and 60 tickets. But, of course, the stuff I was always interested in ordering is the Chucky-specific branded stuff. So that would be like this page. Some of you out there might recognize some of this merchandise. This was all the merchandise that you could have. That you could have on your merch counter back then in 1999, 2000. Love that Chucky Bank. And then here's your official order form telling you what those items cost per piece. And I think there's a bunch of those in here too. Oh, back here we've got the plush. This was the plush that you could order back then. 3 sizes. And yeah, here's some more examples of some of the prizes. I don't know. Someone must have been hungry that day because they took a big bite out of the top here. I don't know how that happened. But here we go. We got some cool little Chucky bouncy balls and bubble necklaces and keychains. All kinds of stuff. I have a bunch of this stuff in my collection. T-shirts, cool T-shirts they used to sell back then. And, of course, candy. You had to have lollipops and the candy pinwheels on your counter or you were in trouble. That was a standard. You had to have that. But, yeah, this cool little folder for all your merch items for that particular time period. And, like, every year, you would get a new one. So, this one here is for 2000. And you'd open it up, and everything that you were allowed to order for your store was in here. And for 2000, it was a lot of the stuff was very much the same. I mean, you can recognize the plush here. They did like a big keychain promotion. Whoop. We had a Keychain Rack. I actually own this. The Keychain Rack, and we had all these different keychains that you were supposed to order and have on this rack at your front counter at all times. I will admit it was very popular. We sold a ton of keychains. But everything related to merchandise you keep in this handy little folder in your office. And then in 2001, they did the really fancy binder here that I was showing everybody. Yeah, let me put this over here. Yeah, they did this like really nice binder for 2001. Uh-oh, pages are coming out here. All right. So yeah, it was kind of fun. Like you're going on a little shopping trip every time you needed to order merch. Oh yeah, here's a good look at the candy display that you were supposed to have on your front counter. It was a little acrylic box with a bunch of holes drilled into the top, and you would fit the lollipops and the candy pinwheels. And there's a good color photo of the Keychain Rack. That was another standard at the time you were supposed to have on your counter. And some photos of how they wanted you to display the items in your display case at that time. Of course, you know, they encouraged stores to get creative with the displays, but I think it was good that they actually showed photographs. Oh, here's an even better picture of the candy display. They actually would show you what they wanted it to look like. You know, they wanted you to spread the items out, make it look nice. And then, of course, you know, after September 11th, they decided to get on the patriotic bandwagon. So we had a ton of patriotic merchandise that came in. And this was also all standard. They wanted you to have all this. And again, there's the candy and the Keychain Rack. That was big during this time. They really were pushing the candy and the keychains. And here's some, I was looking for that because I have another one of these to put in here. These are original price tags that would you would put on the merchandise. And I found one while I was going through this stuff earlier, and I wanted to stick it in here. And hey, look, it's limited edition Santa Chucky, the very first limited edition plush. Yeah, I'm a freak. I saved all the marketing related to that. This is one of several pieces related to it, but it shows you how they want you to display your Santa Chucky in the special wire sleigh that they sent to all the locations. And I think there's actually some... yeah, here's another thing about the limited edition Chucky. This is for limited edition Pumpkin Chucky. It's showing you a picture of how they want you to display it. And I think I have the card back. You can see there's the case there. And it is. This is the actual sign that would display on the back of the case. I saved it because, yes, I'm a freak. And this is actually nice, too. They printed this on glossy, laminated full-color cardboard. So it was actually a nice little sign. And every limited edition plush we would get in, they would send us a new one of these. And then I think they realized it was costing them too much money, so they stopped sending the custom signs. Here's one for... They just did a generic one after a point. They're like, you know what? It's costing us too much money to do those custom ones. Let's just do a generic Chucky one. So that's the generic Chucky one. And I think the rest of the stuff in here is just the different merch items and how they wanted us to display them. There's some order forms in here. Oh, what's this? Oh, hey. Yeah, that's right. The swirling snake light. Occasionally, kids, you would get one of these faxed to you from home office. Yes, faxed, because we didn't have email back then. They would occasionally get a merch item that was let's just say it wasn't living up to the potential that the company was hoping for, and there was some kind of safety issue, and they would have to do a massive national recall. And one of the items back in, let's see, is this dated? 2002. September of 2002, we had a high-end merch item called a snake swirl light. It was made out of glass, and it looked like a corkscrew. And when you turn it on, there was like this swirling, glowing gas inside. It was actually really cool. But apparently, you could get shocked by it, or something of that matter. So the company did this massive recall. So this was a paper that they sent out, or faxed out, that you had to tell them how many you had left and how many you destroyed, and then you had to sign it. So, documentation of that. Yep. Oh, limited edition Fireman Chucky. Yeah. All right. So I guess that's enough of the merch stuff. I don't know if there's anything else in here. Oh, look, graduation Chucky. Oh, I have another one of those? Some of these I haven't been through in a long time. This still has the clips on it. Check this out. This is the original graduation Chucky. It was number 3 in the series. And same thing. It's the original cardboard custom sign. You see Chuck's got his little graduation hat on there. But what's cool is this actually still has the original plastic clips on it for clipping onto the wire display bin. Wow. Okay, well, I need to put that in a better spot than just throwing it in here. All right. Well, I think that's enough of the merch stuff. So I will put all this away later. Move that over here. And I'm just going to breeze through this other stuff, because this other stuff is just kind of pretty much just company manuals, and we don't want to be giving away any top secret information, although all of this stuff is now outdated. But still, I have friends at home office, and I know there's some things that aren't appropriate to show and other things that are, but I think it's safe I can show the cover of this. This is the setting the standard for your animatronic show that has got the cool Department 18 logo there. This was a manual that was sent out to all stores to try to get them all to make sure that their shows were operating and looking as they should. And it would talk about how important it is to brush out the fur on your costume characters, which is something I've been saying for years. It is very important. And it would just kind of go through and talk about things that you should be aware of in taking care of the cosmetics of your show, so they're always looking good and your characters are always moving good. And this actually has a guide to what color the eyelids of your animatronic characters should be at that time. Let's see, I don't remember what year this came out. I think this was 2002. I think this guide came out. It replaced other ones that we had. And of course, all the photographs are of the 3-stage that was at home office at the time. This is talking about the lights. And curtains! Remember curtains? This is telling you the standards for the curtains, the speed of your curtains, making sure your curtains are clean, and what to clean your curtains with. Set pieces. And of course, oh, wait a minute. Maybe we shouldn't show that. Yeah, just kind of an overview of what your stage, how to take care of your stage, keep the rug clean. And then, on the back here, I've made a special note of how to test the movements of your cyberamic characters yourself using a couple of wires. I know that's probably naughty. Kids, don't try this at home. I was a trained professional back then. But this is actually showing you what numbers to tap the wire to make the movement happen. I don't know if you can even see that. I'm having a hard time seeing that on the screen. And then, why don't we keep the show theme with this other manual. I think a lot of people out there have probably already seen this. This is the official 2-stage installation guide that was rolled out in 1991, 1992 when the Munch's Make-Believe Band stages rolled out and replaced the former porch rocker stage. So this is the original that lists everything that you need to install your show. And again, showbizpizza.com. Go there and look at the digital scans that I'm sure are on there. I'm just going to show you a few of the graphics. But it's the installation guide of how to disassemble the old show and install your new show, and how to put on your new cosmetics on your cyberamic characters. And in the back of this is a part I find interesting. It lists all of the companies that made all of these things for your show. Everything from Cowan Costumes to the people who supplied the curtains to the people who supplied the lights. See if we can get on the back here. This is all outdated now, so I don't, feel like I'm giving away any company secrets by showing this. All of this stuff is pretty much gone now. The Pioneer 50-inch monitor that you'd have on the stage, the big screen TV you'd have on the stage. Pioneer was a good brand. And then you have the fiber optic specialists. Those are the guys that made the fiber optic curtain. Pretty cool. Animation World of Orlando. They were the guys that were making the cyberamic cosmetics at that time. For a short time, I should say. Cowan Costumes. Yep, so pretty much everybody's in here. But it has some cool graphics, and definitely check that out on showbizpizza.com so you can actually, see and read it. I'm not just like flashing it in front of your face here. Here's another thing that's pretty cool, the Chuck E. Cheese's Magical Wardrobe Manual. Everything about taking care of your costume characters and how to be a good costume character performer, featuring this fantastic hand-drawn artwork. I don't know if it was Tom Rose that drew this. Our big diehard fans out there have better memories than me. I can't remember all this information, but it was either Tom Rose or his other accomplice that drew this fabulous artwork for this manual. But you go through and it kind of, I think today's Chuck E. Cheese's needs to have a version like this for their current character. But yeah, showmanship. Here you go. And here's the ABCs right here. And then, of course, how to take care of yourself as a performer when you're a costume character. Don't drink coffee and don't drink soda. Probably the two number one things I can think of. And how to do the timeout signal to the cast members to let you know that either you're in trouble because some kid is being a little too rough with you, or you need to step backstage for a moment for some other reason. We've got some character profiles. So newbies would know what these characters were like. So they'd be able to do a better job of portraying them in your store. Oh, yeah. Chuck likes to play it cool. Check it out. I love the artwork that was done for this. It's just great. Oh, yeah, and the cool vest. Some stores had this. We had this at my store, but I was not a big fan because it only seemed to work for about 10 minutes, the ice packs. And then all of a sudden, the ice would melt, And now you have a bunch of warm water that's strapped around you, and it just was not a good idea. So I would never wear a cool vest when I would perform, because I found that it only would keep me cool for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then it would make you incredibly hot very fast, which is very dangerous when you're doing mascot work. And now this guide, which hopefully isn't ruining the magic for anybody out there, it is showing you how to become the star of the show. It is showing you how to properly dress yourself in a character costume. The order, because there wasn't a certain order that you had to put these items on. And the rest of this catalog is just kind of going through all the characters and showing you the correct way of putting on the different costume pieces. And they have all the characters in here, because back at that time, a lot of stores had many different characters. They had Munch and Jasper, or they might have Helen and Pasquale, or they might have, 2 or 3 different ones. Jasper, and of course, everyone's favorite chef. Nobody cares about Pasquale. And then special footwear, how to put your shoes or your fur feet on, because at that time they had 2 different styles. The fur feet were the older style, and then the sports shoes were kind of a newer style that they had introduced at this time. How to set up your costume room. And then, of course, most important, your costume preventive maintenance. Yes, how to take care of your costume characters. Very important. Something a lot of people don't think about, but it's very important. And this page is telling you how you could clean those different items, because there's many different fabrics and many different types of fur, and it was important to know what was okay to do to your fabric and your fur, and what wasn't okay. And then in the back section here, it shows you how to replace the different pieces of your costume characters. For example, Helen, sometimes you need to update her hair, or she needed some new feather hair. This shows you how to attach it. Or perhaps Munch needed a new baseball hat, because at that time he wore a baseball hat. This showed you how to install your baseball hat to Munch. Same thing with Jasper. Occasionally you might have to replace his hat. And this shows you how to do that. Oh dear, and there's a famous page. Yes, this graphic has been shared in the fan community for many years. Sometimes, you get to a point where your costume character is very, very worn. Maybe the people who had it before you didn't take very good care of it at your store, or the company sends you a brand new version of your costume character, and you have to properly dispose of your old costume. Well, you can't just toss it in the dumpster. You have to debrand it, and to do that, unfortunately, you got to get out the big hammer. But sometimes some of us can salvage costumes and make sure that this doesn't happen, but other times it's something that has to be done. Let's see, what else is in here? Oh, yes, this is the section where you can order new parts for your costume. And the comments and suggestions, which the company was back then very open to your comments and suggestions of how to improve the wearability and reliability of your costume parts and your costume characters. And wow, there's quite a few of those pages. Oh, and check this out. Here's something I don't think you'll see on the wall at a current Chuck E. Cheese's. Chucky is saying, "You can bet we are working hard to keep your costs down." Mm-hmm. This is the fun part. This is where you have the parts price list, where you can order all the parts you need for your costume character. And I remember I used to look at this list and drool, because I wanted to order a bunch of this stuff back before I had some of this. But everything that you need to order for your costume character, whether it's Helen, Munch, Pasquale, Chucky, it's all here. And you had options. You could order the entire outfit, or you could just order the separate pieces that you needed. So let's see. Let me go back to this first page here. Back in, when did this come out? 95, I think? No, this is 93 this came out. So this is right when they were really getting into all the different costume characters in the early 90s. So let's see. Let's say you wanted to buy a complete walk around Chuck E. Cheese in his tuxedo with everything. It was only $1,020.58. That was a bargain. Or maybe you wanted to have a complete walk around Chucky wearing his sports outfit. So back then that was the yellow long sleeve sweatshirt with the red shorts and the fur legs and everything. That would set you back $1,030.59. Or maybe you didn't want a Chucky. Maybe you already had a Chucky at your store and you wanted to buy a complete walk around of Helen Henny, who at that time was wearing her black and purple dress. She was only $947.93, complete with everything in 1993. Yeah. Oh, and look, Cowan Costumes would even offer a service where they could refurbish your existing head. So if you didn't want to spend out for a completely new costume head for your character, you could send it to Cowan Costumes and they would refur it or put in new eye screens or do any number of different things. Wow. So there you go. There is the costume character manual. Every store used to have this in the early 90s. Again, one of those cool things of a bygone era. And I think the last couple of things I can share is another thing I'm just going to kind of flip through. This is the Team 2 training manual for any of you budding Team 2 trainers. Anyone out there that does not know what a Team 2 trainer is, it is basically a cast member at your location who knows the standards so well that they can actually be assigned to train other cast members. It has, I guess I could say, it has quite a bit of prestige connected to it over the years. It was pretty much a big deal if you became a Team 2 trainer. And this is actually a manual from the early 2000s that takes you through the entire process of how to properly become a Team 2 leader. And it's like a little pop quiz on every page here. And a lot of this stuff, if you go through and read it, still makes a lot of sense today. And I sometimes wonder if, maybe today's Chuck E. Cheese's would benefit from looking at this manual and reading some of this stuff. Oh my, we ran out of music. All right, maybe it's time to change the tape. Wait a minute, did I just make some more social commentary there? All right, I need to stop making the social company commentary. More Chucky music. Sorry about that. I didn't know that tape was going to run out. So, yeah, it's, I don't know if this is on showbizpizza.com, but if it is, I recommend going through and reading this stuff. But it's just a whole book of all, at that time, again, it's like a time capsule. That's why I kept this. It is all the standards of what was happening at the time. Everything from your costume character standards to how you're supposed to be preparing your food in the kitchen. There's some cool graphics in here. How teaching you how to do your breadsticks and how to lay out your sandwiches on the dish. That kind of stuff. So I just wanted to kind of flip through that. I'm not going to go through that with any great detail. This is the Operator's Guide to the New For You remodel that they did. I can never remember the year. I always get it wrong. What was it, 2000, I think this happened? But this was the actual manual they sent to all locations to let them know, hey, we're going to do this remodel to your store and add Toddler Zone and a bunch of other stuff. So this is actually the official letter from the company telling us that. And it's telling us all the cool things they're going to add. The ticket munchers came, the kid check with the video monitor above it, the cars they attached to the sky tubes, like the little police car and the race cars, the Toddler Zone, all that stuff. Plus, they kind of just gave the store a refresh. And this is, unfortunately, this manual got wet in one of my many basement floods over the years. But just kind of goes through letting management know what's going to happen to your store. And then it talks about some of the marketing they're going to do, which I was showing earlier. I had all that marketing. Some of the flyers they're going to send out in the local newspapers and not too much in here. Just kind of like a quick overview of to let the management staff know what was going to be happening in the next few weeks for this new remodel. But, still kind of cool. And speaking of management, I think this is the last couple of things I figured I'd share for today. Everything you need to open your own restaurant at Chuck E. Cheese's. And this is probably sensitive stuff, so I'm not going to flash too much of this around. This is the September 2000 Restaurant Operations Management Employee Handbook. Boy, if that's not a mouthful. But this is probably top secret stuff, so I think most of the stuff that's in here is just text, but because I like to show you guys like stuff with pictures. But this is basically telling you everything you need to know to be a restaurant manager at Chuck E. Cheese's. But there's no cool pictures in here, so there's not really much to show. And same thing with this. This is from 1998. This is the Management Development Ladder. If you were a budding manager at Chuck E. Cheese's, you would get this. This was supposed to help you ascend the ladder to becoming maybe an assistant manager or maybe even a general manager. I guess this one was mine. I'm guessing. I haven't really gone through this stuff in a long time, but it's basically just a checklist of making sure you knew everything you were supposed to know, you knew all the standards, you knew what you're supposed to be doing. And it was basically just like a document that, say, if your district manager showed up and was wondering how far along you were getting, he could pull this out and look. He wouldn't have to ask you. He could just look at this. All right. So I think that's all the cool print media that I have to share for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this. It was just kind of like an experiment. I thought I'd try it out. Maybe another time I'll get out some other things we can look like. I'll get out some other things that we can look at, like some of the collectibles I have in the other room, or maybe some other kinds of merchandise, some Chucky merchandise maybe we could show. But I'll save that for another time. So thanks, everybody, for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments. And y'all take care and stay cheesy, all right? All right, bye, everybody.